in this section, we are going to talk about how can I make my first object on my frame. By the way, by saying object, what I mean, so we are going to create an object. It's maybe a line, it's maybe like a couple lines, it may be a circle or any kind of shape or any text that we are going to apply to the frame. So let's see how it looks like. So right now I have a frame which is a variable, and the function is saved to the frame. What I'm going to say that from this frame I will set draw handler, and I will say draw. Let's analyze what is going on now. So from this frame, and what is the frame? We already defined it over here, and we are calling another functions. So what does it mean? So right now I have my library SimpeGUI. In that library I have a function, and I have a function which is inside another function. So if you remember, in the math we have a functions fx or gx, and we can combine it, so functions inside the function, and it's the same is over here. So right now I'm just calling that, and if I run it right now, it will give the error because it says that I understand what is going over here all the way to that point, but what is the draw is. So we are saying that whenever you run, can you just run the draw for me? And the draw, we need to define it. We need to specify what is going on. So let me just reset, and I will define it right here. So right now I will say the define, because I'm defining a new function. By saying new function, that means whenever we click it, whenever we run it, execute it, so something should be pop up on my screen. And here I'm just specifying what to do. I will say define draw, and let me say the canvas. So you see what is that draw is? That draw is over here because we are creating a new function that we are doing the different objects. If I say that ABC, I need to specify ABC as well over here. So let me just keep it as a draw because it makes more sense. I will say draw and the draw over here. And the canvas is just a variable. I can call it ABC as well, or XYZ. So the canvas is just a function. So right now, what is under my function? I will say that from the canvas, draw line. I want to draw a line. Now in the beginning it looks like it's complicated, but by the time whenever you're making some practices, and you will get used to. So just keep in mind this line and the first line comes as a default. The only thing is you will be changing these sections. So let's say I have my function draw line. The draw line is inside the SimpeGUI. And the draw line is asking us to make some inputs. So what kind of inputs we need to put? So first of all, I need to specify what is my start point, and after that, what is my end point. I'm just creating a list right now, but I will fill out just in a second. After that, whenever we have a line, what is the size of the line? What is the thickness of the line? Let me just give the 5 pixels. And after that, the last one is what is the color of the line supposed to be? Let me just call it yellow. Okay. I will go over this line again, and I will explain what is going on. But before diving to that, let me just explain you something. So right now, as you know, in math we have axis, so that is my x-axis, and we have a y-axis over here. So that is my y-axis. So if I go to the right position, if I go to the right side, so imagine that we have a 0 over here. So on the x-axis I have a 1, 2, so that is a 1, that is a 2, that is a 3, that is a 4. If I go to the left side, that is going to be my -1, -2, and -3, and so on and so on and so on. So if I go up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go down, it's a -1, it's a -2, and so on and so on. But here in the Python, it's just slightly different, just a little bit different. So let's see what is the difference. So on the x-axis, it's the same. There is no changes. So in the beginning, I have a 0. Here I have a 1. Here I have a 2, 3, and so on and so on. That is my x-axis. But the only thing is, in the Python, if I specify the positive numbers, it goes down. So that is my y-axis. So that is my 1, that is my 2, and that is my 3, and so on. If I go to the negative y, so I need to go up. So the first one is going to be my -1, the second one will be -2 and -3. So the only thing you see on the y-axis, it's a little bit different. And on the x-axis, it's the same. So right now, what we did it, we have our frame, which is 400 by 700. So imagine that we have our frame. That is my frame. So here the length of that axis is a 400 pixels, and we have a y-axis which is 700 pixels over here, and the 0 is over here. So here is my start point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to the 400, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to the 700. It will come to that point. You see? So here what we need to do is, in the first, we need to give the x and y values for my start position. So let me just zoom in and we will see what is going on. So I will tell that, hey, I want to make a line and I need to specify 2 points. So point number 1 and point number 2. Let me just draw one more time the axis. So I have my x-axis and y-axis. Imagine that I want to make a line like that one. So that is 1 point. Let me call it point A, and that is my point B. You see? So that point has the indexes. So it has x value and y value. So it has x from here and y. And the same from that one. So the B has x and y values as well. Okay. So in order to make it more clear, let me just make a frame which is 400 by 400. I will say that my first point is going to be located 0 by 0. You see, that is my x value and that is my y value. And the second one, let me bring just right to the middle. I will say 200 by 200. You see? So that is my first point, which is located 0, 0. And that is my second point, which is located 200 by 200. And that is my size, the thickness of the line, and that is the color of the line. So let me just run it. And yes, perfect. So I have my line done. You see? So it started from the 0, 0 all the way to the middle, because it's located on 200 by 200. The size is 5. Let me just change the size. I will make not the 5, I will make it 2, and let me make a color blue. Let's see how it looks like. So if I run it, yes, perfect. So I have the same line, which is started from 0, 0 all the way to the 200 by 200, which is right in the middle, and the color is blue. Let's add another line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another line. I will start from here again, and I will make a line all the way to here. So before diving to the code, let's analyze. So the first point, it starts from the 200 by 200. Is it right? It's right in the middle. What about that point? So since we know it's a 400 by 400, so that is my frame. So the x value is a 400, but the y value is a 0. You see? So right now what I'm going to do is I will give these 2 dimensions. So right now I will close it. What I can do is I will just make a copy and I will pass it over here. And pay attention, guys, it's supposed to be right under this defining. So what I will say that, hey, can you start from the 200 by 200 and finish by 400 by 0? Perfect. And let me change the color just to see the difference. I will make it, let's make it red. So let me just run it, and perfect. So I have my second line now. You see, so right now we are using GUI. It's a graphic user interface. By making simple codes, we can add several lines. So, and if you need more lines, you can just keep adding these codes, and you can just specify and change some dimensions of the points, and you can add as much as you want.